Well, hello. Welcome to another edition of Crop Life Retail Week. I'm Eric Sfiligoj, editor, Crop Life Iron. Here again with Lara Sowinski in the cornfield still, I see. How you doing, Laura?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, the cornfield is masking the blowing tumbleweed and dusting of snow that we have here in El Paso. So I thought nice and bright.
You have snow in El Paso. That is great. Actually, and I shouldn't tease too loudly because I know this morning I was watching the weather report and they were showing, I think, a video from somewhere in Arizona, Flagstaff maybe, or Tucson, someplace in Arizona where they were getting blowing snow, which I'm like, blowing snow and Arizona are words I never assume will ever be in the same sentence together. So the fact that there was video evidence even made it more fun. So.
Oh, well, maybe you've forgotten, but I'm a graduate of Northern Arizona University in Flagstaff. And when I graduated and left, actually, it was in the winter. It was after the first semester. It was -6 degrees that day that I drove out of Flagstaff. And I think there was 3 feet of snow on the ground. It was really, it was a bitter winter. But, there is the Snow Bowl, there's skiing, there's legitimate Four Seasons up there. It's beautiful, beautiful. Yeah.
I just find it odd that places like Arizona and El Paso, Texas are getting snow, and here in Ohio it's 46 degrees and raining. That's why I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt, because it's actually semi-warm today. So, but we're probably on the other side of the front or storm system that will, I know they're saying, by the time this video airs, we're supposed to be in, single digits with nasty wind chills and potentially a couple of inches of snow on the ground. So again, but right now as we're recording, it's actually a very nice day. I'm looking forward to walking the dog today. So.
Well, that's good. Yeah, it's actually colder here than it is in Ohio, as we're recording this. So it's heading your way. So
I'm going to enjoy that factoid. That factoid will keep me warm for the whole video. So, hey, since we now talked weather for a full 5 minutes, let's actually dive into some news of the week. And we do have some big news to share. Of course, as I've said, one of the things we do every year is put together the Crop Life 100 list of the top ag retailers in the country. And I know for the past few years, after I put together our definitive list of the 100 biggest companies, 2 of them or more decide to merge. And then we're down to a top 99 or a top 98. And it's happening again here in 2024. I know we've talked about in prior videos that the folks in Indiana at Co-Alliance and Ceres Solution, that their members have been talking about formally merging. And they held a vote. And the membership has agreed that a merger makes sense. And the new company, which will go by the name of Keystone Cooperative, will begin business on March 1st and be headquartered in Indianapolis. And Kevin Still, who was the president CEO at Co-Alliance, will be the CEO president at the new Keystone Cooperative. And he had this to say about the merger. He said, Keystone Cooperative brings together 2 financially strong, legacy-rich, and highly successful cooperatives. This historic merger creates a cooperative that is equipped to navigate the ever-changing markets of today's agricultural and energy industries. And they're going to have 4 divisions, Laura: energy, agronomy, grain, and swine and animal nutrition. So again, our congratulations to the membership for what will now be Keystone Cooperative, and we wish you success. And if you're wondering, in the Crop Life 100, these 2 companies merging will put them at number 8 on the list of the biggest ag retailers in the country, which now means that when we do the listing for 2024 for Crop Life 100, instead of a big 7 companies with sales over $1 billion each, we will now have a number 8 that will also be in that club. So
awesome. That's great. Yeah, that's big news.
Yeah, it's very, very big news. So, and hey, something near and dear to your heart. I ran across this because I know you love transportation, given your background, just as much as I love anything we have that might be beverage oriented, because it brings back memories of my prior life. I ran across a USDA report. It was talking about transportation costs during 2023 for shipping things like corn and soybeans. And the one big kind of takeaway, this all involved the U.S. Gulf Coast and transportation there. The report said that in 2023, the transportation costs in that region of the country had increased 22% year over year. And the big reason for that is they said there was a very large surge in the cost of river barges to transport via that. 104% jump in cost year over year, despite the fact that we had lower Mississippi River water levels. Although maybe that was part of the reason. The supply and demand comes into play, and there were fewer barges that could get down the river. They were costing a little more money to be utilized. So,
right. That's first of all, that's a significant jump, 104%.
yeah, I thought so too.
I think, as we've talked about previously, while some of these things are one-offs and anomalies, the question is, when we look at the Mississippi River and transportation, this may very well be something that is the new normal, i.e., chronically low river levels. So, certainly something to watch. I'm glad you brought that up. I've been watching a lot of and listening to a lot of transportation, things going on with the Red Sea, things going on with ocean freight rates, rail, always something that seems to be like a disruptor, if you will. But certainly, what things are here to stay and what things will pass in a week or two. So that's really important for our trade, for sure.
Yeah, and it's a good point, because I know I've been, a lot of the stories I've been working on, we've been kind of doing outlooks for the upcoming spring season, and folks have mentioned to me the factors they can control versus things they can't, like weather. We may have to put transportation disruptions and logistics cost increases in that column of things that are kind of out of the control of the folks that we are used to dealing with here in the agricultural community. So,
absolutely, good point. Yeah,
yep.
Yeah.
So, hey, I guess I've been talking now for most of the video. So, I guess you have some news to share regarding. You had a news item, I believe, and also you have something to tease, which I think people, if they're paying attention to the hat you're wearing, might know what you're going to be talking about. But don't let me put words in your mouth. Take it away, Miss Laura.
Well, actually, I wanted to just mention briefly, speaking of outlooks, this time of year, we're inundated with trends to watch and what's important. And I had the pleasure of speaking with Adam Gittins of HTS Ag. He was attending CES for the first time in Las Vegas. And it was funny because I have wanted to attend CES for years, and for one reason or another, I've never been able to make it to the trade show. Particularly last year, as you recall, John Deere was featured as one of the keynotes at CES, and Adam had just arrived at CES this week, and he had listened to the keynote, which was presented by HD Hyundai, which, they build large construction equipment and so forth. And they were talking a lot about AI and the importance of AI and how it's being used with construction equipment, not only to make it safer, but to build things that, quite frankly, even a human operator wouldn't, be able to do. These machines are, talk about smart iron, right? That's something that we talk about here as well. So I was asking him, and this is part of, you'll read my columns in the February issue of Crop Life. As I was asking Adam, so what are the big things in your mind this year that we should be watching on? And he said, without a doubt, AI. he said that will be the prevailing trend, and certainly when it comes to, what we're looking at, not only with the equipment but software, of course. And he was just super turned on by it. So we had a great discussion, the details of which will be in the Crop Life February issue. But it was great. He was so excited to be there, and I was excited for him because he he just couldn't wait to get to all the ag exhibitors as well and have some talks with them. So just wanted to do a little shout out to Adam. And yes, indeed, we are almost in Glendale, Arizona, which is where we will hold our Vision Conference January 22nd through 24th. Checking the weather, it looks like it will be in the mid 70s. So not only can we promise sunshine, sorry, Eric, but, nice warm weather, and we'll have to take plenty of selfies and give you an
Rub it in. I like that, Laura. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah.
So considering that we are, nearly ready to pack our bags and get on to Glendale, we're holding prep calls, and I can't tell you how exciting it is. And I think I remember saying this to you when we were preparing for Tech Hub Live, when you're in that final, we're days away, and you're connecting with the speakers and making sure everything is good on the content side and stuff. It's so exciting. It really gets me going, like, wow, this is, the content is so great. We mentioned last week in Retail Week recording that one of the features at Vision this year will be these breakouts that will not only focus on a particular topic that people will come up with a solution, but we're going to record it. We're going to quickly put it into a takeaway that will be discussed on a panel immediately following the breakouts. We have little ebooks. If you go to thevisionconference.com, there's an ebook there for downloading, but plenty of resources post-event for the attendees. So not too late to plan to go to the Vision Conference, which of course is co-located with our Women in Ag Tech meeting, and that takes place on Monday morning, January 22nd. We have a special discount for listeners and watchers of Retail Week. In order to get this discount for Vision and or Wyatt, give me an email, send me an email, Sowinski, LSOWINSKI @meistermedia.com, and we'll set you up with the discount to attend. It's just going to be a great conference. I sincerely mean that. Just great speakers, great content. So we're getting ready for that. I probably took every bit of our time. You let me know if you want me to tell you my news story, but I wanted to make sure I got those things in because I'm super excited about them.
Yeah, no, and that's fine. And again, folks, if you can't make Vision for whatever reason, and the week of the 29th of January, or actually maybe be the video that airs that weekend, just before that, like the 27th or so. Miss Laura will give you some of the highlights of what was said, who said what, who was seen, and what the scuttlebutt was on the floor. So,
sure.
But yes, please share your news story. That's fine.
So yeah, I'll make this brief, but again, kind of in the spirit of what are we looking at with trends, and we mentioned this item recently. There was groundbreaking for a new crush facility in Ohio. You may recall I mentioned that not too long ago.
Yeah.
So first week of January here, the USDA's fats and oilseed crushings, production, consumption, and stocks report came out with really some impressive numbers in terms of crushing capacity in the U.S., which is really, really on the rise. The volume of soybeans crushed in November of 23 was 8.3% higher than the 2022 average for the same month. So certainly an uptick there. In 2023, expansions at 3 existing plants, along with the opening of a new facility in North Dakota, was expected to increase domestic crushing capacity by 300,000 bushels per day. The trade is expecting to expand soybean crushing capacity even further with the addition of 12 new plants and 5 planned expansions by 2026, potentially increasing the crush capacity by another 1.4 million bushels per day. So significant uptick there. Of course, renewable diesel sector is what's driving, the additional capacity coming online for soybean crushing. EPA continues as well their mandate for biofuel blending targets for refiners or importers of gas or diesel fuel. The other side of the story, though, however, CME Group soybean oil futures have fallen more than 40% from record highs that neared 90 cents a pound in the spring of 2022. Currently, the March contract has been range-bound between 48 cents and 55 cents a pound since October. So, obviously, downward pressure on pricing. Nonetheless, good news as far as the crushing capacity that is coming online in the U.S. So, that's what I have.
All right. Well, very, very, very good news, I guess. And yeah, hopefully prices will pop back up as planting projections come out in about a month and a half from USDA. So, well, Miss Laura, again, time as we wrap up the video, time for your favorite segment, time for fun with numbers.
Do we want to retitle that as struggling with numbers? Contemplating
It doesn't roll off the tongue as nicely. So, and besides, we already have a really neat graphic using the verbiage we currently employ. So, all right. So with this week's, your number is 194. 194, and it is not a percentage or not a dollar amount. It's just a number, 194. So, Miss Laura, is 194, is that A, the number of employees Keystone Cooperative will have post-merger? Is it B, the number of accidents aerial applicators experience due to external causes? Is it C, the number of truckloads needed to carry the same amount as one river barge? Or is it D, the number of pills I now take weekly after another birthday has come and gone?
Honestly, Eric, you get the prize for the most creative every week. That's the real fun with numbers for me, waiting for what you're going to say.
As I said, I'm sure a lot of people probably just they wait for that D, and that's the highlight of the video. So hopefully we'll see.
Would you repeat C again? The truckload
number of truckloads needed to carry the same amount as one river barge.
I'm going with C.
Nope. No, the correct answer is B.
Oh, the aerial.
Yes, no, 194 is the number of accidents that aerial applicators experience due to external causes. And this was for a 10-year period between 2013 and 2022. So total number of accidents for that amount of time, not that great. But this is from our friends at the National Aerial Applicators Association. They had a couple of graphs in their latest publication, and I latched onto that 194 number of external causes. This isn't mechanical failure or anything like that. These are things in the environment that were causing the accidents to take place. And this was things such as like towers or terrain or birds or trees, et cetera, et cetera. Any guess, Miss Laura, what the number one cause of accidents, external forces, were for aerial applicators over that time frame?
Birds comes to mind.
Oh no, bird. I already said birds. This is I haven't mentioned what the number one thing is. But again, if you're driving along the road anywhere early, you tend
telephone wires,
power lines. Yeah. 113 of that 194 number of accidents was caused by power lines. So,
Yep.
and I know in my area that, they have all underground wiring, but I know if you're driving around most of the United States, power lines are very prevalent. They are all over the place. And apparently aerial applicators, when they have problems with the terrain causing accidents, that's the number one reason. So,
Yep. Makes sense. All right.
all right. Well, hey, now, like I say, next week, we'll probably have a special video. And then after that, we'll be getting together and we'll be talking about your trip to Vision. And I know myself, I'll be in Peoria, Illinois at the Illinois Fertilizer and Chemical Association annual meeting. So if you're attending that event because you like the Illinois market and you like maybe a little colder weather than you'd get in Arizona in January, please stop by, say hi, flag me down on the show floor. And for those, everyone who's staying home, look for reports from Miss Laura and me. But thanks for joining us for this week's edition of Crop Life Retail Week. On behalf of myself and everyone here, have a great week. We'll see you again soon. If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comments section below. Your feedback is important to us. We will try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.